Aloha everybody, it's Paul here and we are from the WTC today, and this is Craig. And we, for our troubles, which are much troubled at the moment, are part of the tournament organisation team.
I mean, it's that bad. I've shaved properly for the first time in like 5 years. Stress is getting to me that much.
Stress is getting to you that much.
People keep asking questions.
They do keep asking questions. And a lot of questions are coming in. However, we have now decided that all lists are now legal.
Yeah.
And good to go.
Well, I wouldn't say good.
Yeah, well, they're going. And we've had a wee look at all the lists. Now, some folk were passing comment that there was an awful lot of dice.
Yeah, not so much.
I don't see an awful lot of dice going on. I see...
I made a spreadsheet.
Well, we made a spreadsheet, so we got it. I only see, off the top of my head there, 3 armies which are over 20 dice.
Yeah, most of them are
so
16, 17, 18.
Yeah, so the average, although we don't actually have the average.
I'm not that good at spreadsheets.
We don't have the average. The average looks to be about 16 dice per team. So what does that say about the lists that are going?
Well, you could say they're very heavy, but they're not.
No, there's a good mixture, actually.
You could say they're vehicle heavy, but they're not really.
No.
Well,
we have limited the number of armoured platoons you could take.
But they are exceptionally widespread.
Yeah, there is all sorts. I think we'll see some of the usual. So I think a lot of the British lists, we see Gurkhas. Of various shades and airborne experience.
Yes. Paratrooping Gurkhas.
So they're to the fore, aren't they? But there's one or two other things. So what should we talk about first? We're going to have a wee talk about some of the interesting lists, I believe.
We are.
So these are not in any particular order, and we don't know. They're all blind lists, so we don't know whose lists they are. But there were some lists that caught either mine or Craig's attention. So we're going to talk about those. So, the first one, what are we going to talk about?
Well, so the first one we've got is a German armoured platoon.
Yep.
1,000 dice. 1,000 dice?
Oh, that's going to be a long game.
Yeah, it's a long day as well.
Yeah, it is.
1,000 points, 11 dice. So bang on 1,000.
Yeah.
Which is something else I noticed. Only about 50% of the lists are actually bang on 1,000. Most of them are 5 or 6 points shy of 1,000 points.
Yeah, there's a couple of short a few units because Easy Army didn't allow you to put them in, and they did put notes with them, so even though they don't show on the list you see,
that was hugely entertaining to understand those lists. So yeah, I don't know whose list this is, but it's interesting because armoured platoon.
Yeah.
So it's a regular command Stummel, the 251/9.
Yeah. So open topped.
Open topped. It's got another 251/9 Stummel, and another one that's 3.
So 3 Stummels, which is a medium house.
It is, but it's also got a carrying capacity.
It does, doesn't it?
Which I'd never spotted before.
Yeah, it does have a.
I have one of these.
Yeah, I think does the Panzerbusch one have a carrying capacity as well? I think
that's the one the engineers can upgrade to.
Yeah.
But I'd never seen that
before. But a lot of the other ones don't have carrying capacity.
But that's really clever. So they've got their compulsory transports.
Yeah.
With howitzers nailed on the front.
Yeah. Which
means they're not just a minibus, they've got a purpose.
It almost gives them a purpose. So they're a medium howitzer. So what's the cost of a medium howitzer is about 65 regular, roughly, something like that. So 65 of your points. So your actual Stummel is really only costing you 56 points.
Give or take here. Yeah. They've coupled that with 2 Panzerwerfer 42 inexperienced at 96 points each. That's the multi-launcher.
That's the multi-launcher one. Now that doesn't have any transport capacity.
But that is 2 multi-launchers.
It's 2 multi-launchers. There's a lot of multi-launchers in the lists.
Yes.
Isn't there? This is one way where you can, obviously using vehicle multi-launchers, you can duplicate.
Yeah.
Because all these lists are pretty hard. Some slightly harder than others, but most lists are hard.
They're all interesting. There's something about all that makes them quick.
It is, and because we're playing from all over the world, everybody has their own little ideas of what is the most efficient army to take.
Yeah. their 3 infantry squads are six-man vet assault pioneers with 5 SMGs and a flamethrower, and then the last squad has got 6 SMGs and 3 Panzerfausts. And I'm assuming they're going to ride about in the Stummels.
You would think so, they'd have to.
Which is pretty brutal.
It is. And they've got Howling Cow, which gives them 3
multi-launchers.
3 multi-launchers. Yep. Excuse me while my little dog Buddy joins in. So they've got essentially 3 multi-launchers in there. Now the multi-launcher rules have been coming up recently for some discussion.
Yes. I've seen that discussion.
Buddy, excuse us while we attend to the children.
This is about the distance of where it hits and where it rolls to hit. Is that right?
Yeah. So what you do with the multi-launcher now is you pick your target.
Yep.
And you place your template.
Yes.
And then you measure from the template as how it's supposed to be done. Most people measure from the unit, and that's no longer correct.
Yeah, because now we've got templates we don't have.
Yeah. I mean, it's more or less the same thing, but there is that nuance to it. And any unit that is within 6 inches of that template becomes another valid target that you can try and hit on a 6-up.
Yes.
However,
when it works, it works.
When it works, it works. And if you decide to go for a house, it's 6 inches from the edge of that house.
You and your HE against buildings.
Well, it's the rules.
It's a thing.
So, and technically that means that the multi-launcher can hit something it cannot see.
This is true. I think multi-launchers have got better with the HE rules.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of their points cost compared to a medium howitzer, they're usually better points costed. Yep,
they're normally, certainly you take the Howling Cow, 42 points inexperienced.
Yep.
I mean, okay, it's got to be in line of sight, but still.
Always hitting on a 6. So
it's always hitting on a 6, and it's taking fire away from other units, because
Mm-hmm.
people are going to try and get them.
And the Howling Cow's got more crew than the Nebelwerfer's got?
No, it's the other way around. Neb's got 3, Howling Cow's got 2, so it's actually a small team.
So it's even harder to hit.
It's harder to hit, but easier to kill, because most people take them inexperienced. And you can't argue at 42 points.
No.
So it might be something we take back to Warlord.
No, I haven't bought one yet. I have to wait till I buy one.
I was meaning the rules and suggestions.
Yes,
but,
the Marines can get a multi-launcher of some description.
You can. Just almost everybody can get a multi-launcher now.
Can Brits get a multi-launcher? I think
Land mattress.
And the
Calliope thing for the top of the Sherman. So,
French can't get multi-launchers, or can they?
They get VB launchers.
Yeah. There's enough infantry, I suppose it counts.
There is. So that's quite an interesting list.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
3 medium howitzers.
It's the Stummels.
3.
I've never seen it before.
Yeah. So, what do we think? A good list, or
if those... Okay, so the last time I used my Nebelwerfer in my Germans was when you and I were in Leicester. And the first game I used it hit 3 turns in a trot.
Yeah.
And decimated the American veteran army I was facing.
Yeah.
If this player, whoever it is, not too sure, it's not me, definitely not you.
Definitely not me.
If they get around to hitting,
I think that could be, I think a lot of people will look at it and think, and I think that could do quite well. It's not a lot of dice, so it loses a little bit of initiative, 11 dice. 2 of those dice you're going to be hiding. Oh no, because they don't have the officer. One of those dice is a mule team, so they're going to be hiding that.
Yeah. They've got sniper there to pick out weapons crews.
Yeah.
Whether or not they deploy the infantry in the Stummels, probably not.
Pros and cons depends on your scenario.
They're not going to outflank with the Stummels because it'd be a waste of outflanking probably.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not getting into what, turn 3?
Pros and cons. Pros and cons.
If they get a success round of shooting, they could wipe out an army.
They could do, although prep bombardment against British, they could suffer.
They could.
Because they're going to get pinned and you're getting extra penetration and...
they're open topped. Yeah.
You know, so yeah, it's one of those. But I like the list, and I like the fact there isn't a lot of troops to paint.
I quite like it. It's very engineering and artillery based. I quite like that. We don't see artillery based lists.
Yeah.
We see a lot of artillery.
Yeah.
But like that Atlantic Wall Defenders list with the extra flak guns and things like that.
We do.
I always really liked that army.
Yeah.
I think we
Not
saw one.
terribly
Did
practical.
we see one at Cambridge?
We did see one at Cambridge, yeah.
Was that when you became the best player in Scotland?
Right, for one game.
And I became the second best player in Scotland for one game.
Oh, but that'll carry on.
No,
I think we're still flying high.
Fourth
at the
now.
moment. Are you fourth?
Joint
Oh,
fourth. So next one is one that also is interesting. It's an armies of Germany. It's a tank
Again?
platoon again.
Tank platoon.
Always those Germans, isn't it?
Yeah.
15 order dice.
So that's quite a lot for an armour
Yeah.
platoon.
999 points. So
999.
a couple of pence short of 1,000.
The Australian beast.
Yeah. It's triple flamingos.
And you can't go wrong with triple flamingos.
You
Will they
can't.
paint them pink?
Mm,
Or she, we shouldn't be sexist.
no, it could very well be a lady. I've heard they do play bolt action,
They do.
just not in Dunfermline.
They do.
Oh, they do. You've got a lady. I forgot.
We've got two ladies. Pat Brown, Chris Brown's wife.
Yeah.
They've come down now to Kenaway. Anyway, sorry, we digress. So we've got 3 flampanzers
Yeah.
dishing out the dirt.
Double flamethrowers, one each side. One
Yeah.
fire, one at.
They can only fire one of them at a time, but still.
Backed up by a Panzer I, which is you kind of like Panzer Is.
Yeah, it's anti-troop, isn't it?
They're not a Stuart, but they're nice. Another one, the Panzer were for 42s. This one's an experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I've never seen one run one of them. I actually had to look it up to try and find out what it was.
Again, with inexperienced, it's will it fire or won't it fire?
This is true. It's always at a -1.
Once you get a pin on it, it's...
Well, actually, it's a multi-launcher.
Oh, so it fires
It's
on a
always setting a
6.
6.
Yep.
And then a range in, so being experienced means nothing.
But they still got to pass an order test to fire. So once you get a pin on
They
it,
do, you're right.
it suddenly
Yeah,
becomes
yeah,
a
yeah.
lot less reliable.
And they don't have an officer that can sit next to it because they've got
Yep.
unless they park a flampanzer next to it.
But
then that
the
negates-
Flampanzer won't affect troops. Oh, it's Panzerwerfer, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
It's
yes,
the,
it would, yeah.
armour platoon, isn't it?
Yeah.
But then again, that then negates the fact it's got a flamethrower, so it has to get in close to use it.
Yeah.
Interesting. 2 6-man Volkssturm squads with rifles.
Mhm.
First squad's got 4 Panzerfausts, the second squad's got 3 Panzerfausts.
So yeah.
But then again, Volkssturm are they shirkers. They're inexperienced.
They're inexperienced, so they're 42, 4, 6. So they're inexperienced. Are they fanatic?
I can't remember.
I think they've got the green rule where
Yeah,
they can
yeah.
go up to veteran though, don't they? I think they do.
No.
Is that not them?
No, because they come with assault rifles.
Alright. Anyway, so we've
Sorry.
got Volkssturm in here,
Yeah.
who are green, and I'm not too sure whether they're shirkers or not. I don't think they are.
But then we've also got the Feldherr Darm. To the
Now, that's an
NCO.
interesting inclusion,
Yeah.
because it implies that a lot of things are going to come on from reserve or outflank. Because that's what you put a full gendarme in for, isn't it? Is so you don't take the -1
Yep.
for vehicles coming
Or
on.
as it should be called, the We're Not American rule.
Yes.
But that is interesting. Never seen that played before. Got a light mortar team.
Inexperienced.
Again, just some.
Assuming you can get your order off,
Yeah.
you're always hitting on a 6.
Yeah. Regular sniper team.
Yep.
Standard.
Mind you, just to go back,
Yeah.
light mortar team is nice cheap dice.
It is. Downside is the German one can't pump out the smoke.
Yeah.
Not that we've ever seen anyone do that though.
Yeah, we might see some this time.
We might have to try that one day.
Yeah.
80 rifle team. Yeah, pretty reliable. It'll hurt light tanks, armoured cars.
Yeah.
Transports, it'll take them off.
I think anti-tank guns are much maligned after playing them for the last few months.
Oh yeah, with your is it?
Yeah, it's my anti-tank weapon. Well, not of choice, it's my only anti-tank weapon, more or less.
Then we've got another howling cow.
Yeah.
Inexperienced again. This one's getting drawn by horses, not a mule. So this.
Bumping up the old points there.
Yeah.
It's 2 wasted points.
And then 2 MMG armed trucks.
Well, actually, it's a point, because if they'd have taken a mule,
Mm-hmm.
because they're 999, they'd have been able to get another machine gun or
Panzerfaust.
something. Panzerfaust, they might have managed to get 5 points in there. So that could have been a little bit stronger, in actual fact, maybe.
But I think that's interesting.
So they've got the 2 trucks,
Mhm.
54 points. That will make them
Got MMG on them, be regs.
regular. I think so, yeah. So that'll make them regular.
Yeah. Sounds about right.
So it's quite a good use of the fuel jump down, because you're
Mm.
bumping them up by 1 effectively
Mhm,
to
mhm.
come on, and you've got another dice, and you've got another unit which could take
Objectives.
or defend objectives.
That sneaky last game win.
Yeah.
It'll run in there. Like the dog
Exactly.
teams.
So 15 dice. That'll be interesting. Now that we felt was a bit of a hit or a miss kind of army,
Yeah, I mean,
isn't it?
we know there's a lot of internet hatred about vehicle flamethrowers.
Yeah.
But the Flampanzer 2s, they're so lightly armoured that, you know.
And you've got to get them in reasonably close to do their thing.
Yeah.
And running so many of them, they're not all going to be able to do the last minute rush.
They're not. But then again, is this the Gumby list?
It could
Is
be
this the red herring?
that could be the red herring list.
We don't know.
I quite like it, but I wouldn't want to be the guy playing it. You're going to come in for some comments online with that list.
I'm not surprised, but then again, that would be quite a nice sort of last stand in Berlin list. You know, the Flampanzerwagons didn't see a lot of service, they were kept back in the Panzer barracks, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I could see that looking really cool. A beat up training Panzer 1, it would look really good.
Yeah.
Rebel bases.
So we like that one.
Yeah, we like that
We
one.
like that one.
You quite had questions about this Japanese Pacific Defenders list.
Oh, put me on. I like Pacific Defenders lists because I quite like the militia squads, which I think are very cost effective, especially with the Japanese fanatics and the
Yep.
Japanese Banzai. Banzai, I think, has to be used intelligently, and people have to realise that you don't have to Banzai everything. You could actually try passing an order test to do
Is
something
this
different.
why I don't have a Japanese army?
You're not smart enough, mate.
Okay.
You're not smart enough. But
Bring
I
it
quite
forward.
like it. But they do have lone snipers in there. Now, from memory, I don't think personally that lone snipers are the most efficient use of points.
There's got to be a reason for them.
Well, you can take, they're a sniper choice, so you could have
Yeah.
taken normal snipers, and I'm pretty sure at regular, normal snipers would have been round about 55 points. You're still small team.
Mm-hmm.
You don't take the -1 for shooting, because the
Mhm.
lone regular sniper does.
Doesn't have a spotter. Yeah.
I think he takes a -1 for shooting. You can take a LMG with him,
Well, that's interesting.
but he's not been
No.
armoured up with LMGs that I can see there. So I'm not quite sure why. That was one of it's like that's an odd. So is that the Gumby list?
I don't know. I mean, it's got two inexperienced heavy mortars. It's quite a substantial amount of pie plates.
It is.
It's got a Type 94 37mm light AT gun.
Oh, you just never
But
know.
it's no transport.
16 dice. You've got a lot of troops. Who are we talking about? We're talking about 45 troops.
You got 5 15-man squads slogging across the table.
He's got a medic, so assuming that they are going to hit the table, they're obviously looking to charge with the political officer and the medic behind them. You never know, it could be.
It could be that gold rush list, try to get in there and get the objective.
Could be.
That's interesting.
So what was the next list? We kind of.
Oh,
Soviet tank platoons. There's a lot of them going about.
so this is a Soviet tank platoon here.
Now, is this a list that we have encountered this list on our travels,
I
or
think-
similar lists?
I think both you and I have played against this list previously,
We may have done.
or a variety of incarnations of.
So this is interesting. This one's
Hmm.
had a few comments at various places where it's been.
Yeah.
So it's a Tokarov / Katusha list,
Yeah.
and we've got a command Tokarov, which is a
A regular.
interesting choice. I suppose he had to make something command vehicle.
This is true. It is interesting because it's regular. A lot of times I've seen this list, the quad maxims and the
Yeah.
Katyushas are inexperienced.
The Katyushas is a reason to make inexperience, but the quads, you take the -1, so the quads are quite good for taking out small teams because you've got that many shots, so the chances are you're going to get a 7, and
Also,
anything you do to increase their chances of hitting by making them regular makes sense.
They're also really good at killing off Marine Corps squads.
Well, yeah, any Horde army is going to be, but you know, what else do we have? So we've got 2 Katyushas as well, so they can move and fire
3,
on a 6.
Yeah. So we've got sort of 3 quad maxims in total. At reg, 2 Katyushas at inexperienced. We've got an LMG squad at regular. I think that is a 8-man unit. LMG squads. Don't often see them in Soviet lists.
You don't,
No.
but yeah, it's an LMG squad. I remember it well.
We've got the free rifle squad, commonly known as
Yeah.
the Party Boys. Heavy mortar team.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a lot of heavy mortars in this tournament.
Well, mortars are good for taking out. I sometimes think the heavy mortar is for what you need it to do is a bit over the top. A medium mortar is more or less going to get the same number of guys.
Is a medium mortar better than a heavy howitzer? Medium howitzer?
No.
Think so?
No.
Okay. Just
They're
curious.
more or less the same points,
Yeah.
and you can fire direct, which is handy because you tend
This
to
is
use
true.
medium mortar as your sort of backup anti-tank to try and pin tanks.
I've only used a howitzer once.
Alright. Yeah, I can't say I'm very good with them, but
We've got a regular sniper team.
we do.
We've got, you know, all of the sniper teams.
I'm good with
If-
sniper
if
teams.
the
I'm not a
famous-
I'm not a big fan of regular sniper teams, I have to say.
No,
But I do like my small teams to be vet where possible.
we've got a flamethrower team.
That flamethrower team is painful, by the way.
It's the it's the regular. It's not the special one that you can't.
No,
target.
it's a regular
Yeah.
flamethrower.
We've got We've got 2 AT rifle teams.
Yeah.
Standard for Soviets. We've got a regular heavy howitzer with an artillery tractor.
Yeah.
We've got 2 trucks, one with MMG, one without, and we've got a gas jeep. So if you're,
The gas jeep is basically for the
I was
flamethrower.
about to say, if you're a betting man, where would you think the gas jeep's going to go?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's going to be a flamethrower in that.
So I think everyone who's playing should get some sort of anti-tank style traps around the edge of the board, maybe spikes or something to stop wheeled vehicles coming on. Lots of sort of shoot and scoot.
So
Flamethrower team.
this list is interesting because we do know it intimately,
We do.
for better or worse. But there's quite a lot of dice in that list. What was it? 18, 19?
It was 18 order dice, and it
Yeah.
comes in at, again, a penny shy of a pound.
Penny shy of a pound. So there's a lot of dice on there. There's been a little bit of conversation about numbers of dice.
Yeah.
But from knowing this list, that's not a problem with that list. That list gets played fairly quickly.
It does.
Because the higher the dice, you have more units that you're going to end up hiding or
So-
not bringing on.
We've had lots of tournaments in Scotland. We've had the Nationals, this will be the 4th year.
Yeah,
The only game in the Nationals is 1250, or it was.
yeah.
That may change. The only year where the game didn't finish was 24 dice Soviet Horde versus a 24 dice Japanese Horde.
Yeah.
I give them the credit, they got to turn 5.
Yeah.
And they did not play slow, they played fast.
Yeah.
But they were happy to settle in the game, so
Yeah.
even big dice armies can get the turns.
If you know what you're doing with them, they can. And we know some of these teams have been using their armies
Yes.
and will know how to use them. So hopefully those few big dice lists, those guys will be switched on.
And I find it helps a lot if you make it up as you go along.
Mm.
It
Maybe
worked at
that
Cambridge.
explains our success. Or lack thereof.
It's one of those things where you can't have too much of a plan because things change so much with a dice draw.
So that was a few of the interesting lists
Yes.
that caught our eye. I'm sure there's many more in
Yeah.
there, guys.
I actually quite fancy seeing the actual armies.
It's going to be lovely to see the
Yeah.
armies. I've got a feeling a lot of guys have spent a lot of time getting ready for this. They've spent bucks. They're going to want their armies to look cracking. And we do have a good paint. We do have good paint prizes.
Do we?
We do. We've got a golden brush from
Ooh.
Army Painter.
Oh, very nice.
Don't quote me, but there might be one for Bolt Action and Middle Earth. Or there might be
Yes.
one just for the best.
Yeah,
But,
I can spray a paintbrush gold if you want. It's like the,
you can.
it's like the Poundland version of the gold
You can.
paintbrush.
Oh, And sometimes, if Topher is listening to this, I have a special little brush that I have for you, Topher. But we'll maybe come on to that another time. Yeah, it's very dodgy. Anyway, back to the list. So we had 12 nations, 12 teams taking part. More than 12 nations, because one team is a world team.
Yep.
And we got, so Germany are playing 3 lists. Dice, 3 lists? They're playing 4 lists. Their 5 lists that they submitted are all between 13 and 18 dice.
Yep.
They've got 2 double platoons in their choice, so one of those is going to be ditched.
Yes.
On the morning.
That's a very interesting move. I didn't think anyone would do that.
Yeah. Well, I think has there a couple of people done that?
I think there's been some controversy over that as well.
There has been some controversy.
So that's because people didn't read the pack.
Well, or maybe
including me.
Maybe they misinterpreted the pack. Some of the wording on the pack is not as clear as it might be, but we learn and we move on. So we've got 2 double teams. So either the Japanese or the Hungarian list from Team Germany is going to go. So we know they're playing Soviet Union, Germany, and the United States. United States is a tank platoon.
Yep.
Which is a bit unusual.
It's I think it's got Stuart's in it. I might be wrong, but I'm sure it's...
Yes, I think it does have a Stuart, so it's a Stuart list. So we know that will be making the table.
I can never quite get on board with the Stuarts. I always like the Chaffies better.
I love the Stuarts, but there's a bit of a reputation tax to pay for playing them. But I like them.
Bit of reputation tax playing Americans. They are the best army.
Yes, I think the Americans don't do as well as they should, really. So the Spanish, again, all their lists are between 11 and 17 dice. Yep. So again, not huge dice numbers there. No obvious list that they're going to drop. All looks fairly standard there.
Some interesting lists as well.
Yep. I think England are going to be strong. There's going to be other countries that are strong. But we know some of the guys from the English team, because they play on the circuit that we TO play on, and most of their guys are going to come very well prepared. They are very good list builders, famously.
They have team shirts.
And
they're like professionals.
I think England are going to be strong. I think we may underestimate how strong some other countries are going to be, simply because we don't know the international scene as well as we would like to.
No, I'm not allowed to leave the country that often. It's Brexit,
Brexit.
Having seen in England's in Pool A, so I believe England's got France, Scotland 2, and Wales. In their pool. So it's
a strong pool.
The joke was it's a Six Nations pool. So that would be quite strong.
So so England are in Pool A. I can see a few interesting ties when Scotland-England happens. It's Scotland B.
Scotland B.
Scotland B. That is going to be interesting. Hopefully we'll get some tape of that.
So
if there's anybody left at the end.
Scotland B is the same great taste, but none of the added sugar.
Exactly. And then we've got Denmark. Denmark, what are they running? They're running potentially Soviets, Japanese, British, French, German, British tank platoon.
Yeah, again, I think that is an Nurse Stewart job.
Yeah, their lists are all between 14 and 24, taking a Horde French list potentially. It's a reinforced platoon.
It's a popular thing. I mean, the inexperienced French list did very well at CanCon a few years back.
Yeah.
Was it Patch that won CanCon with
Patch with his historical list?
Yeah, major, about 8 inexperienced squads across double platoon.
I do like inexperienced squads after staying away from them vehemently in the past, having played them for the last months. Inexperienced squads are much underestimated, I have to say. So that was the Danish. The Scotland A. Scotland A. Scotland A, I think, should be strong-ish, but I wonder if we'll underestimate our opponents a little bit.
I don't know. Having seen all the lists, so the lists are all out there now. Yeah. There's a lot of lists that are outside of the norm for us playing.
They're running lists between 13 and 18 points, so one of the lower diced teams at the moment. Running, what we're running, anything interesting there? Soviet Union, Germany, Romania, British, United States, tank platoon from the Soviet Union, which is an interesting choice.
Is that the one with the OT-34 command tank, or is that one of the other?
Scotland A, I'm not sure. Yes, I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is. So,
Oh no, what are we talking about? We know which list that is.
Oh, Scotland A.
Yeah, we knew
yes,
that
of
is.
course we knew. So no actual tanks in that tank platoon.
Yeah.
So interesting. Interesting. We'll see if they play that list or not. Actually, I wonder.
That's the other thing is
the American list.
I suppose we know the players.
We know the
don't
players,
know-
but we don't necessarily know what they're bringing.
No,
Don't necessarily know what they're bringing. So
because
that
they're
might
not
be
telling
interesting.
me anything on purpose. I mean, they
And
stopped.
I'm not in any of the groups, so that I can't.
I mean, literally, they stopped talking to me about 2 months ago.
And I'm not in any of the groups, so that I can't have any bias or whatever. So I don't hear very much.
I mean,
There's a lot of chat that goes on in
I
that
even
group.
recorded a podcast with Ali, and he didn't let anything slip.
So that will be the Home Guard podcast.
Yeah, we got number
just
11
released.
out.
Just released.
We made it in double digits.
We did.
Andy Warden made it for 2 shows in the trot, and
Can't
didn't
be
get
bad.
sick.
Can't be bad. Then Scotland B.
Yep.
We know all the guys and love them. Running between 13 and 18 dice.
Again, not horde lists. They got a theatre
There's a
selector.
Japanese list, but that's the tank platoon.
Yeah, that's
The Japanese tank platoon. You don't see
Interesting.
many Japanese
No.
tank platoons.
no. Although, yeah, it's interesting that one.
It is interesting. The British list at 13. That could be a tough list. The German
Yep.
list is a tough list. I would secretly like to see the B team do rather well, but they've got a tough first group.
They do. They've got Poland.
Poland's going to be strong, I think.
Poland 1 or 2 they've got.
Poland won, I think.
I mean, I'm kind of tied as to who I'm rooting for right now. Do I root for Poland or Team B?
I can't
don't
possibly
know.
root for anybody. Can't possibly. So Poland B are running between 9 and 13 dice, so they are the lowest diced army
have,
at
yeah.
the moment, and I think they are the lowest diced army altogether.
Maybe that's something we should maybe just try to tell us something.
Maybe somebody is. So that's going to be interesting. So they should have their games over quicker. They're running the United States, Hungary, Soviet Union, Germany and Japanese.
Yep.
Soviet Union tank platoon, United States theatre selector. They're not running double reinforced.
No.
So interesting choices. It'll be interesting because I would imagine the Polish guys are going to be quite formidable.
I think so. Judging on what I've been able to find out about the Polish bolt action scene, which is not that easy to find out about because I can't speak Polish.
Yeah, we're working on
I'm
it.
working on it. The other half will make me learn one day. I was trying to brush up on some phrases for when we go to Poland, and that's not working out too well either.
And then the Welsh. Now the
Yeah.
Welsh are quite low diced army, 11 to 17. They've got Soviet Union, Chinese, Germany, Japanese, British. The only Chinese army.
Only I was really excited to see that.
Yeah, and
because
I think that'll be a surprise. I played Chinese against Chinese at Adepticon, and boy was it a shock.
yeah, they're not like the rest of the armies.
It was a shock.
Have you seen those big sword squads?
I haven't. What got me was the Sparrow tactics.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was, holy cow, Batman.
A part of me really wants a Chinese army, but
I love the way it plays, but
it's
if
building it.
it's not so much about, but it's going to competitions and playing it. You are potentially going to frighten off a lot of guys and, ruin their day. What I found with it, the Sparrow tactics was you set up to 12 inches,
Yeah,
you get a free 9-inch move, and you ignore rough ground on your first turn.
yeah, I got no problem with that.
I don't have a problem
I
with
think
it.
it's awesome.
But if you've never seen it before, you guys are going to be assaulted turn 1, possibly, maybe turn 2.
Let's
Or
be honest.
definitely turn 2.
You've also got the problem with the fact that hardly anyone knows the Chinese rules.
Exactly.
you're
So
gonna have
it's
to
one of
explain
those
your
where you
armies
go,
rules.
what the heck happened there? I managed to cope with it. I think we got beaten. We played it in the pairs. I think we got beaten by it. but I knew to set up at the edge of my board.
It is one of those
Was a help.
armies that I really want to build for.
I loved the way it played because I like to be up and at them, but
Yeah.
you know, I can see a lot of people that might catch people unawares even at this level of
I
competition.
mean, I've only ever seen in sort of Scottish scene one Chinese army, and I saw him once. It was Alex Scott.
All right, I haven't seen that.
He's got one. It was really nicely done. It was a converted plastic army.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So that's going to be interesting. The Welsh lists are all at least partially themed,
Mhm.
if not all themed. So they've spent a lot of time and effort, I think, in their selection. Excuse me. So those guys will definitely be interesting. Be nice to see their armies. Most of the time they're going to be out-diced. Do you know what? There's a lower diced army.
is there lower than nine?
Lower diced.
There's
There's a
only
lower
seven.
diced team. The Polish have a thing going. We'll come on to that. Anyway,
You think
so
it's
that's the Welsh.
Is it a cunning plan?
Could be a cunning
Mhm.
plan. The French. Yeah, the French are back to normal. So we are 15. I mean that in the nicest possible way, you miserable, maligning Scotsman. So they're between 15 and 24 dice. They've got Germany, Japan, Soviet Union, France, British.
Yep.
French list is a double platoon, tank platoon, theatre selector. There's no double reinforced though.
It's
There's
double
Oh,
reinforced.
sorry, it is double platoon, yeah. There isn't that many double platoons,
There's
actually.
not.
Is there?
A lot of the ones you're seeing double are the ones where they're getting the free howitzers.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Yeah.
Romanian, French, that army you play.
Yeah.
Belgian, is it?
I played Dutch, excuse me.
I thought the Belgians you had.
No, it's Dutch I'm playing.
Yeah.
They're getting the last run out on Saturday at roll call before they go off to their new home on the other side of the Atlantic.
You're selling them to people again.
I'm giving it to somebody.
Wow.
Wow, I know.
You people in the
Prize winning army as well. I got best painted at Adepticon.
I didn't say anything.
Excuse me, cheeky bugger. So, back to the French. No real surprises there. Double platoon, French platoon. Yes, it's a bit of a horde.
Yeah.
Could be, it's very similar to my Dutch list I play, so that could do well.
It was got lots of inexperienced infantry squads. They're going to go down on three. They're going to
How
get.
many Panzer IVs have we got? Is there a lot? I didn't notice a lot. But.
I don't actually think I saw any Panzer IVs, if I'm honest. I think.
So that's quite good, because something like that French list is not going to be unduly
No.
hampered. Because that's one thing, Tiger Fear can ruin an inexperienced army's day, potentially.
The inexperienced French army's got that one trick, and it's all the HE.
It's all the
And the
HE,
extra
and it's a lot of troops who are not as bad as you would suspect if you
But when
get
we've
used
seen-
to playing
We've
with.
seen the amount of HE that's in the rest of the list. It's a double.
I mean,
French
one of the
list.
things that goes against the mass hordes is having that many bodies on.
Yeah.
You can it's difficult to organise and get lines of fire and things.
Unless that's the plan.
That could be the plan. Cunning
Cast
plan.
it up.
And then we have the guys from the Netherlands.
Yep.
Pim and his lads. Now, they had an interesting tactic. Was it them? So they're running two Soviet armies.
They are.
They're running British Army, German Army, United States Army potentially. I can't remember the dice slots on those armies.
No.
But again, they're
didn't
quite
hold
low as well. So one's tank platoon. The theatre list might be up to about 18 dice. So they're running between 12 and 18 dice. Although most of their armies are 12 to 13.
The interesting thing is it's two Soviet lists,
Two Soviet lists.
which means
so
one of the two of them
is
is
going
a
to be
fake.
played. Yeah. Mm.
is it a fake theatre list or a fake,
fake-
double?
yeah.
A fake tank, sorry.
Who knows?
And that's something that nobody thought of.
And they can decide on the day depending who their round one
Yeah.
armies are.
Yeah.
Well, they can decide now because they know who the.
It's interesting.
It
They're
is an
the only
interesting
people who did
idea. I don't know if that was by design or by accident.
that. I think it was part of a sneaky plan.
Part of a sneaky plan.
Yeah.
And then we have Poland A, who are running a low dice count. All their dice are between 9 and 14. They've got two 9 dice armies in
Yeah.
there. They've got British, Finnish, Germany, Soviets, and United States. Is that the first Finnish?
No,
Army.
there's a Finnish army.
Is there one further on? So not a lot of Finns, which
Yeah.
I find surprising.
we don't get a lot of them these days. They were really popular when they first came out. That Baker Company release came out with that Kickstarter.
Oh, yes, I wasn't that keen on that Baker
No,
Company.
neither was I. I've seen.
I've
Borders.
still got models that are not going to be painted through the back.
Fire, maybe.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fins are very good, but they are a lot of the stuff. The good stuff is vets, like the is it the Capaccio?
Yeah.
I can never say that properly.
Cuckoo's Sparta? I don't know.
Yeah.
The guys that come on from the back.
With the skis and the self-medication.
But the big thing with them, obviously, is the squads that can move, that can advance and go into ambush.
Yeah.
That is quite powerful.
It is. But we're seeing that the armies that are more powerful these days are the ones that get the free units. So back in the day, it was the Soviets were really powerful because they got the free squad. Now you've got the French and you've got the Belgians with the two howitzers.
And of course the power army of the moment, the Dutch. Oh, come on, Craig. That was a look of disbelief in your face there.
I can't remember the Dutch list, actually. That's why it's a look of disbelief.
So both the Polish team running low dice.
I thought you were playing Belgians.
Yeah, that's
Let's
true.
be honest.
That's true. both the Polish playing fairly low dice.
Do you think they're going for fast, quick games?
Looking to get results.
They're going to guarantee they're going to finish in time, even against a high dice count.
And then we've got the world team, which is a mixed bunch.
It's like a bunch of hippies in a sort of
lovely, cuddly kind of way.
A drum circle.
It is.
Could be a drum circle.
My note has cut off the armies they're bringing. I know they're bringing an Italian list.
I could get my phone and look at the spreadsheet, but that'd be a little bit unprofessional. They're bringing some armies. There's 5 lists, and they're playing 4 of them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a German list in there. I think there's a Soviet list.
Yeah.
Definitely not a Chinese list. It's just quite funny. But they've got a good mix.
They do have a good mix, and they bring something a bit different. A mixed world team. A mixed team of different countries' ways of playing.
It's like basically it's like an international version of the A-Team.
It is.
Yeah.
That's
That's exactly what it is.
I'm gonna ask Rudy if he's gonna come with as Mr. T.
Or like you've got like a French MacGyver and a Belgian MacGyver.
Yeah.
And they all have the same plan, but they can't communicate.
It is. So that was not such a quick run through of the lists,
So that's to make it
etc.
worth their while. I did drive here.
Are we going to make those details available to folk?
Yeah, I kind of got inspired.
Anybody can do that themselves, but we've got it, so we might as
I
well.
kind of got inspired by what Brad did. Was
Brad at Cast Ice?
Yeah, where he sat and broke down the veterans, the experienced regular units, the mortars, the snipers, etc. I was tempted to try and put something together like that. I know it's something that Al Unicombe was talking about doing for Home Guard at some point, but I might try and see if we can analyse it a bit.
It would be interesting, because I think the armies that people think do well are different to the armies that actually do well. And I've got a feeling that the Flan Planzer list might, if it's played, might not do as well as some people think.
I have a sneaking suspicion that the first game it'll do well, and after that it won't.
Yeah, but we shall see.
But then again, it might just be a feint. Again, it could be a fake list.
So we're looking forward to the World Team Championships. Hopefully all you guys. As it's obvious, this is not a tournament for the faint of heart.
Nope.
Doesn't mean that we're not going to have an awful lot of fun and there's not going to be a lot of beer drunk.
It's you go to Poland, it's vodka.
Okay, vodka then. It's a bit rich for our blood.
It's good. It's very cheap and it's very good vodka.
So there'll be a lot of drink going on. There'll be a lot of fun going on. I'm sure there'll be lots of suggestions what we can do with our rule set and various other things.
It's 100% raw from the rulebook. Rules is written. We run with that.
And yeah, we're looking forward to a good time in Poznan in Poland. It's the first weekend in May.
Which is the May Day weekend.
Yep.
It's going to be the busiest time of year in Poland outside of Christmas and Easter.
Yep.
Super busy.
So we look forward to seeing you all then, and stay in touch, and we will be recording from Poland over that weekend, and we'll bring you some of the action live. We might try and do a live feed if we can set it up from Poland. So guys, stay tuned, and we'll talk to you all soon. Take care.
Yeah.
Mahalo for now.
Goodbye. Thank you.